In a move reshaping global oil dynamics, OPEC+, led by Saudi Arabia, announced a production increase of 411,000 barrels per day, BPD, effective June 2025. The decision, formalized on May 3, marks a sharp reversal of the bloc's 2022-era output cuts, with cumulative hikes since April approaching 960,000 barrels of oil per day, far exceeding initial market expectations. For consumers, these hikes typically mean cheaper gas. Each extra million barrels per day tends to cut fuel prices by 3 to 5 cents per gallon. This near 1 million barrel of oil per day increase could lower global prices by around 3 cents, offering modest short-term relief at the pump. Geopolitically, however, this surge underscores deepening tensions between Riyadh and Moscow. Saudi Arabia has grown increasingly frustrated with Russia's repeated breaches of OPEC+ production agreements, with reports showing Moscow consistently exceeding its quotas, thereby undercutting collective price stabilization efforts. In response, Riyadh has moved assertively to escalate output as a punitive measure, aiming to reassert its leadership and discipline within the alliance. Strategically, Saudi Arabia is repositioning to reclaim market share after years of voluntary restraint, seeking to outmaneuver Russia and entrench its dominance within OPEC+. The decision marks a pivotal shift, transforming what had been a framework of fragile cooperation into an arena of open strategic competition. Interestingly, Russian Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak did not publicly oppose the hike. Reuters reported that Russia did not immediately respond to requests for comment, and no dissent was voiced during the meeting. Earlier, in a March press conference, however, Novak stated that OPEC+ could reverse production increases if market imbalances arose, a stance emphasizing flexibility rather than direct opposition. Short-term and long-term impacts. Russian and global stakes. In the short term, Russia faces significant budgetary strain as Brent crude prices drop to around $58 to $60 per barrel, pressuring the Russian federal budget, which relies on oil for roughly 30% of total state revenue and putting war funding at risk. Saudi Arabia's output increase also intensifies market competition, especially in Asia, where discounted Saudi barrels may undercut Russian Urals crude. Globally, lower oil prices provide relief to importing nations like India and the EU, helping ease inflation, while oil-dependent economies such as Nigeria and Angola confront fiscal tightening. The United States, though less central to this specific decision, benefits geopolitically too, as lower prices align with its broader strategic interests, particularly in trade and Ukraine negotiations. In the long term, sustained sub-$60 oil prices could force Russia into austerity, destabilize the ruble, and limit its capacity to bypass sanctions through discounted sales. OPEC's continued push to accelerate output hikes, potentially reversing all 2.2 million barrels of oil per day cuts by November, further tests Russia's alignment within the bloc and risks diluting its influence in global energy diplomacy. As these pressures mount, Russia may find it increasingly difficult to maintain both its fiscal stability and its strategic leverage, underscoring the profound geopolitical implications of OPEC's latest moves. For the world, a deepened oil surplus risks prolonged price suppression into 2026, which could discourage investment in exploration and production. Over time, such underinvestment may leave the market vulnerable to future supply shocks if demand rises or unexpected disruptions occur. Persistently low prices could also accelerate renewable energy adoption, particularly in Europe and China, as producers and consumers seek more stable long-term alternatives.